Anti-society, welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet, and today we are getting into some more Spy Family, and I am so excited that we're finally getting a Yor storyline. I just love that we're getting to focus in on her and learn more about the Thorn Princess. That being said, I am like a little bit uncomfortable with what we've seen so far of the organization that she works for. We've only heard about it. It's been phone calls, but it hasn't been like actually seeing them. And then when we did in this garden, it's giving cult vibes, and that makes me very uncomfortable, especially since she was like a young girl trying to raise her brother on her own. It's giving me ick. I don't know if that's me reading too much into it or if that's me being perceptive. I'm not sure. Just some of the language that they were using was making me on edge. And I don't know if we're going to get into that more, but I love that we're getting to focus in on her, that she has this bodyguard job, obviously made a little bit more difficult, that Lloyd and Anya are also on this cruise. So she's going to have to decide how she wants to spend her time. She could be on this cruise with her family, and instead she's doing this assassin job instead, getting to see her conflicted with that and really needing to face it head on. That being said, we were also introduced to a bit of a scary looking character looking at cameras and security footage and stuff. I'm not really sure what we're going to get into with this episode, but I'm sure that hopefully we'll get to see some Yor being amazing fighter. I just want to see some more of her fight moves that isn't like her trying to help find a lost cat. So let's get into the episode. In 3, 2, 1, go. Still, it was a pretty good gig, honestly. Like, if it wasn't for the whole, like, actually having to fight for your life, probably. I wouldn't go on a cruise, though. Would you guys? I'm too paranoid. I also don't like water, so it just seems like a bad time for me. Uh, I do like the little bit of, like, comedic uh scenes at the beginning there of like seeing her coworkers, because I feel like that we might be getting into some heavier stuff with this one. Maybe it'll be completely ridiculous, but it seems like we're getting into some of the more serious storylines, so you need that little bit of like tension breaking before we get into some of that. I still want to know if the like rewind in the opener is going to become an actual thing we need to deal with. Like, is it just a stylistic thing, or are we going to actually be dealing with some, I don't know, flashbacks or um like wanting to do a do-over or something? Because there's the boat, or a boat. Ooh, fearsome luxury cruise. I mean, at least they're enthusiastic. Oh, I don't know if the kick was necessarily need to be there. I mean, she's more nervous. I'm probably about being seen in full Thorn Princess's garb. Do you think she's wearing the Thorn Princess outfit because she's at work, or because that's like the nicest outfit she owns? We got a time limit? Hmm. Not ominous at all. I like how she goes from like super serious to like super earnest. Oh, that wasn't an insult. You're not even gonna like pop in? Wouldn't it be like a little bit suspicious if you just like don't spend any time with your family while on the boat together? Is Lloyd not wearing a tie? Look at him relaxing on vacation. Aww. Is he? Hey, Anya can read minds. She'll know if he's lying. Oh dear. That doesn't seem good. Hello, shifty character. Did you clock him? Yeah, you did. I don't know if I'd leave these two drunk people to look after uh the person you're supposed to be protecting. Sneaky. Ooh, don't like that sound. Jeez. You said yes or no. He can't give you a number with yes or no. Oh, okay, so we're aware. We've just chosen violence. Mm. So it's more of a battle royale. I don't like those sounds off screen. See, that's why I don't want to go on a cruise, okay? People can just throw you overboard and no one will ever figure out where you are. What happened to you? International waters. Strange out of pocket excuse. It's always the one phone call. But if you called your actual parents, then they can figure out who you actually are. Nah, that's true. They're not gonna wait for later because they need to make sure that they get to the target before someone else does. Is it though? Oof. I love how she walked forward and the shadow went over her face as she like shifts into like Thorn Princess mode. Get away. Yeah, I was like from the door. Ooh, geez, I don't like the look in his eyes. I mean, I get that he's there to like kill some people, but like he doesn't need to be so scary. Like, did no one like see this guy and go, yeah, something wrong with him? Jesus. Yod. She doesn't mess around, does she? Is that what you're gonna say? I was gonna say, how are you gonna explain the bullet holes? I don't like that he was called the knocker. Pardon? Oh my gosh, two of them went for it. I mean, I guess there's some rules. I'm nervous about this bespectacled one, and I understand that I also am bespectacled, but usually an anime character with glasses is to be feared. I was gonna say we sensed something there. Yeah, you can't pick a fight in this crowd when you've been told, ordered to not cause a commotion. Ooh, that's scary. Like how quickly her head whipped around. Yeah, you have no idea who you're messing with. I wonder if Lloyd is gonna pick up on anything. Like if he's gonna also pick up on little cues where he's like, that person's strange. Oh, jeez. Like, why would they sell those? Let her be a little weirdo, okay? Get her the skeleton keychain. He did pick up on some of it. Nice. He's like, I'm gonna try to stay quiet. Yes, that's what will happen. Your child is causing a tantrum for you not buying them something, which means you must be a spy. Uh-oh. That's a scary guy. Like she's like, wow, I don't know who that is. Uh-oh. Two clearly different. I like how it's not just you're an assassin, you also hate frogs. Honestly, I think Lloyd would just like Yon more. Mm-hmm. Definitely. She's also a normal child who's just like, I want this thing, and then gets distracted. He's going through a whole crisis. Like he's just like, oh no. Mm-hmm. If you want to get him out of that deck, though, pretend you're sick, and then you have to go back to your room and stay there for a while. I'm just saying. Yeah, he's always so close. Way to upsell, girl. It's true, you're supposed to be on vacation. Throw yourself into it. Commit to the mission. Yes, become the role. We're gonna have like a clothes trying on montage with the most ridiculous, like, holiday outfits, vacation outfits. It's a good way to get them into a room and not see what's going down. Oh yeah, he's probably a speed changer. Master of disguise, yeah. Like he's Clark Kent or something. I like how it's not the changing that's taking up time, it's his internal crisis of whether or not he can be the part of a cheerful father. A normal, cheerful father. Oh. Fake out? I mean, I don't think you need to sense his bloodlust. He's got a giant scar on the side of his head. I don't need to like judge people by the way they look, but he's got scary empty eyes and a giant scar. And like chains hanging from his ears. Not exactly the average vacationing family aesthetic. Just a guess. I wonder if she's gonna see Anya though. Because we have Lloyd obviously detained for a while, going through his crisis of whether or not he can be the father he needs to be. But is she gonna see Anya and like have to go into protective mode because her child is there? It's kind of crazy to see her in action though, like assassin mode, because again, we've seen her in action doing more slapstick things like finding a stray cat. So we know that she's super skilled, but seeing like the unflinching ruthlessness when she just like threw what like that throwing, I don't know, thorn thing, knife through the door and just like impaled that guy in the head. Like, jeez. That took me off guard because I'm used to her being just like, Yod, wife and mother, doing her best, struggling through. And I forget that she's like an actual assassin. Like, she's definitely killed lots of people. We're gonna get a flashback to like early days with her brother. Definitely getting into some more serious stuff, and I really like that. I really liked when we had the very intense spy stuff at the beginning when they were dealing with the bombers, and we got to see lots of stuff with Lloyd and Anya, obviously, because she helped out a lot with that one. But getting to see a similar shift in the tone with Yod is a lot of fun for me. And again, forgetting that she's legitimately an assassin. I knew that, but not quite having it set in that her job is to kill people. And that means that she's done it a lot and she doesn't hesitate when she has to. And it just took me off guard. I'm like, oh yeah, she does actually kill people for a living. That is her job. Is a little unsettling because it's one thing to see her using her athleticism and fighting skills to do these more slapstick, one-off little mini stories in the episode, and it's another thing to see her actually in Thorn Princess mode, because we haven't really seen that since the first episode where we saw her in her opening like introduction, and then she went immediately into being like Yor and meeting Lloyd. We didn't really see her being Thorn Princess all that much, and then it's been more of a thing like in the peripheral. We haven't really focused in on it yet. It's just jarring because I got used to her being Yor Forger, just like mom and wife, and trying to be as normal as she possibly can be in the most mundane possible that is absolutely not suspicious in any way. And then seeing her in this Thorn Princess assassin mode is just jarring now because I'm used to her not being that way, other than just like having the training that she uses to like do like extreme cooking. It was jarring to see her like that, but also really interesting for her character to see she's good at what she does. And she's seeing her switch from that very serious, focused business mode into this more of what we're used to with Yor, and her being very genuine and shy. Seeing her switch between those two modes is really interesting to me. And I think also now in the story, we're getting a little bit more of the internal dialogue of what she goes through while she's being Thorn Princess and analyzing a situation and how she's strategizing on the spot, because I feel like a lot of it before we've seen her kind of like shut off and we just see the seriousness that she gets into. But this is more interesting to me to see how she's actually going through the process of understanding how the situation is laid out and making things up on the fly and being able to adjust to the situation that she's in. It's just really interesting to me. And of course, I always appreciate a Lloyd existential crisis. There's just something about him being a ball of anxiety that I connect to as someone who is also anxious majority of my life. I feel like I just connect to Lloyd. I want to have control so that I can know that everything is the way that it's supposed to be. I connect with Lloyd on a soul level. But really great story setup of having all of these different assassins there and free for all, even though it seems like they're working with each other and planning out some things that makes it into this battle royale, and it makes it so that they couldn't rely on them attacking at a certain time because it's not organized like that. They have to accommodate for the fact that you have all these different people who have all these different strategies, and because it's a free-for-all, they're more inclined to attack at the soonest time that they can get a chance because they want to get to the target before someone else does. So it's just like an interesting mechanic, and being on the boat, it contains it, right? So it's just a really interesting setup for the story and getting to focus in on Yor. But I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click those plays to go and see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe as soon as next time I post a Spy Family reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.